And so I turn to the path of leadership. And obviously, we can tell, we said that what this was for me in throwing the die here, was showing leadership on how to use the system. Okay, so we have rain above and turtle below. And by just reading the text, the initial text says leadership requires many good qualities. Do you have them? The elders cultivate friendly relations with their leaders. Now, in the text, we also have a vision of what the turtle and rain means. And then we have what the ancestors say about leadership. So these are commentaries. And essentially, if we were throwing the die for the different directions, we would go through what each direction meant. And so generally we can do this. And I've often found that even though this was written by myself, that I am always amazed at the information that comes out of these readings. So let's just look at the directions, the path of leadership in the directions, because then we start to understand how the system works. Directions are start in the beginning in the east, because the sun rises in the east. So here it says, in the beginning, encourage others to do their duty and ask the elders for advice. And it goes to the second part, which shows what's happening in the south. And so we read that, and the south represents the joy of the quest, because that is where the noonday sun in the south reaches its zenith, and that's the fullness of the day. And then we go to the west, the west is in the evening, and when the sun sets. And so this relates to the purpose of the quest, which is to give responsibility and just show examples, lead by example. And I guess that's what I'm doing right now. So in the West, that's when we, after our 4 days' work, you think about and meditate on what happened during the day. What you have to understand is that our ancestors, of course, didn't have computers and internet or go out on the town. Maybe they had a few dances around the fire and things like that, but basically they were ruled pretty much by the sun rising in the morning, doing a 4 days' work, whatever that might be, and in the evening when the sun goes down, retiring. And in the middle of the night, which is in the north, is when predators are around and they have to protect themselves. So in the north, we have the dangers of what could happen. And here it says, blind faith is dangerous. Be accountable for your actions. So it's warning us that you can't take any of what is being said here as without cautioning it with your own common sense, essentially. So it's not absolute truth. It is an indication of directional tendencies. And then we go to below, And this is the resources that are available to us. And so, in this particular case, resources come from those who provide leadership, aligned with a resourceful leader. Okay. So this is where people can take advantage, if you like, of using the system by being aligned with the leadership of how this system was created, and by teaching it to others. Finally, we have above. Above is the spirit influence on us and on this particular situation. So from the spirit world come benefits liberally distributed to all, and our helpers and leaders are chosen by spirit. Lastly was our original quest, which was the heart. It was, so if we were not looking at necessarily all the directions and just wanted a quick answer, then we would go to the heart of the situation, which is right at the end here. The leader, who is a true warrior, makes headway in challenging times. Victory comes to the confident. So that gives encouragement that by going ahead and with confidence, we can achieve our aims. And my aim in this particular circumstance is to instruct people how to use this system. It's been around for some years now. Actually, it was written and published in 2003. And it was only now that I realized that really what people needed was simple instructions on how to use the system, and that's what we're doing right now. So in this section, I'm going to reiterate what it is that we're doing here. And this particular quest was, what am I doing here in demonstrating the system? And the answer that we received, which was for the heart of the situation, was showing leadership. So now I'm going to go through these 6 directions and to add more information about this situation, showing leadership and demonstrating this particular the ancestor's path. So I'm going to throw the die towards the east, which is the beginning of the quest. And the answer that I received here was the rainbow, which is above, and the elk, which is below. And we'll look at that later. Okay.